Massive, massive day today. I caught a 200-point run on NQ, very smooth. It managed to pull me just under $900 per account across all my accounts that I'm currently trading. And price action today was very clean. I think it was a A+ setup. And I want to review this with all of you to make sure that there's just some key concepts here that all of you are applying to your trades. I'm going to mostly focus on the 1 minute and the 5 minute, and we'll talk about, today's first presentation, how it acted, a key market structure shift at a key level. We'll look at the 5 minute chart as well. RTH gap opens, and we'll talk about the relative liquidity that we're targeting today. Okay, so let's jump right into it. Looking here on the left-hand side, which is our 1 minute chart, what I want you to focus on is the following. What price did before 9:30 is, look, at 7:50 to 8:30, it created these relative equal highs. It dropped lower. It went into, I have a 15-minute bullish fair value gap. It pushed into it. It rejected it. It gave us a market structure shift. It attempted to break it and it failed. And it created this quad top relative equal highs. From then on, what price did is it ultimately inverted some fair value gaps here. And at 9:30, it dropped like a rock. Okay. Price continued dropping. It created a first presentation fair value gap today at 9:33. Okay. This is a very key PD array that I'll refer to back later. And then it continued dropping. Okay. And eventually it stops dropping. It takes out some previous sell side liquidity from earlier sessions, right? From 9:50. And then it started slowing down and reversing. But what I want to do is I wanted to take your attention to what's here on the right-hand side of the screen that you see here. And this is and let me move it a bit so all of you can see this a bit better. This is the 5 minute chart, okay? And within the 5 minute chart, you can see here where we open, and at 9:30, what you see right now is RTH, so relative trading hours. And what price did is it ultimately dropped all the way to a key level, which was yesterday's low of the regular trading hours gap, which is around 24,441. And you can see here, price rejected the bottom here. It filled in that gap. It failed to fill in yesterday, but it filled in it today. And when it did that, and when it took out the sell side liquidity from earlier today, it started giving us shift in market structure. And what you can see kind of going back to the 1 minute here is so you can see here on the 1 minute that price ultimately broke down to the RTH lows from Monday. And then it started creating bullish fair value gaps known as BISIs. So you can see here, it created the first BISI, and you can see the SIBI right here. It got inverted very quickly, right? It just bounced right through it. It started pushing through this red SIBI that I have here. And you can see how these bodies start to close in the upper half of the fair value gap. It means that it's giving away its strength and it might possibly break it. It eventually broke to the upside, broke back down to the downside. It started testing the mean threshold. And look at these bodies here of this bearish SIBI. You can see how nicely they've been closing in on the upper half of this SIBI, which again gives the characteristics that it might invert, and what it did invert. I did grab a long here. It was a 3.5 to 1. I did scale into and I scaled out to. We'll go through that later. But I just want for all of you to know how these characteristics of these fair value gaps here are changing and how these SIBIs are turning into inversions and how price is using them to push price higher. Okay. So all in all, keynote is we pushed to the RTH low. We started inverting fair value gaps to the upside. We have relative resting liquidity above us with these quad highs. And the cherry on top here is from an RTH perspective for today. So relative trading hours. You can see here, our gap here has not been filled at all. So again, price dipped lower. And then this blue box that I have here on the right-hand side, this is today's RTH gap. And again, these act like a vacuum where price wants to fill it in. And again, that was my drawn liquidity. And when it comes to trading, you guys don't have a drawn liquidity, do not trade. You have to understand where price is going to, because if you don't, you are gambling. So again, very, very important. And here you can see price, it pulled lower, hit this level, pulled up higher, and it started filling in this unfilled RTH gap. And it was a very large one. It was a fairly large one. It was 275 points to the downside. And my final target here was these relative equal highs. One thing I do want to know, when price was pushing up higher, this is how you should read PA real time, is it starts creating these bullish fair value up to the upside. You can see here, I didn't even come back to it, denoting it as a breakaway gap. It pushed into today's first presentation fair value gap. You can see here, I rejected it once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. I did do a small scale out here, knowing that price might pull back and then pull back through. But you can see here, eventually it did break the ghost. It did break to the upside, and then it retested the first presentation fair value gap. I did scale in here. Let me drop a quick screenshot of my entries and exit. This is roughly how it looks like, where I entered and where I exited the 180 point run. But again, and if you miss this entry, I think this is a very, very valid entry. It's a push away from the first presentation fair value gap, pushing back into it. Again, the bodies are staying within it, which is good. It's being respected, and the price finally pushed into one small level, which I did a small minor sellout here of right before 930 highs. And then the rest of my target was filled at these relative equal highs. You can see here, price continued to push higher. It grabbed the relative equal highs that formed end of day yesterday from 430 or from 330 to 430, and then price eventually moved a bit sideways, and it continued to push up here. So did I catch the entire move? No. Did I catch a portion or the high probable portion of it? Yes. I think I should have left a runner for that last little bit, that was last 55 pips. I did find these after price continued pushing. I'm like, okay, where's price going to? And it looks like there's relative equal highs that it was targeting. But right now price is pushing, and you can see here on the 5-minute chart, we got some relative equal highs right above us. It's about to fill in the RTH gap for today. And most likely it's going to push up higher and grab at least these equal highs that I'm going to denote right here. So again, very clean entry. And you're really leveraging 5 things: the RTH gap, where price closed, where it opened, relative equal highs, which we had on the 1 minute. We found an area where it's a high probable movement of price from going down to up, which is at the bottom of yesterday's RTH gap again. And then once price started inverting these fair value gaps and the body started respecting the upper halves of these fair value gaps, it's a really good indication that price is actually going to start turning around. And that's where you can kind of get in early on these price moves. So all in all, big day today. Hopefully you guys learned something. If you guys didn't catch this, that's okay. There's always tomorrow. And we might have a clean afternoon session. I don't know. Again, I'm just patiently waiting for these A+ setups. I'll wait for 1:30, the first presentation after that, and see if I can target those relative equal highs on the 5-minute there. So if you guys enjoyed this video, feel free to drop a like and a sub if you're not subbed already. And I will try to pump more of these reviews out soon and hopefully get back into live trading if time permits. Thanks everyone. Have a good one and talk soon.